Welcome to the Skol State of Mind podcast. Our Minnesota Vikings just closed out a close one against the Arizona Cardinals, 23-22. Let's cue the intro and let's get into it, baby.
We in our Skol state of mind. We analyze how you play the line. Purple and yellow, we on the grind. D was the host and he's taking time. With expert opinions, we moving dominion. If passion is in you, then let's go continue. Make on it just like a stadium venue. The topics we serving up just like a menu. We in our prime, high stepping. You feel the seat like it's cold peppers. Harder like Carter, but keep it smiling. Like this was the catch number 1,000. The show you gon' love it. You better tell your mama, cousin. The internet's talking and buzzing. So pull up a chair and just grab a drink. About the Vikings, tell us what you think. Cause we in our Skol state of mind. We analyze how you play the line. Everything purple and yellow, let's take it up a level. Start the show, yeah, it's time.
Welcome. And thank you for tuning in to the Skol State of Mind podcast. As you already know, I'm your host, D Woods. So let's get straight into it with the initial thoughts. Man, the Minnesota Vikings pulled off a close one against the Arizona Cardinals at the bank. Yes, U.S. Bank Stadium. It's the first time they've been back to the bank in like 3 weeks. Man, Vikings close it out 23-22. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Watching this game, I was a little nervous. I was worried because it kind of felt like things wasn't going our way. But this team has learned how to be resilient. And for some reason, they are figuring out how to win multiple ways. And what I mean by winning multiple ways is basically like they've won pretty, they've won ugly, they've come back from behind and won. You know, they kicked the field goal at the end of the game to win. They won without scoring any touchdowns. And this is what kind of team you got to be and things you got to learn throughout the season if you actually want to go into the playoffs and make some kind of noise. And just think about it like this, though. The first 5 weeks of the season, when the Minnesota Vikings were basically like blowing guys out, it was the thing people were saying over and over again, what's going to happen when this team gets behind? You know, are they going to be able to come from behind and win? Man, they are starting to answer a lot of these questions. But I got a couple of topics that I'm going to break down, that I'm going to get into in depth. So let's talk about the offensive scheme. All right, look, going into this game, my thoughts were, okay, you know, looking at the Arizona Cardinals record, you know, they still was basically in playoff contention because, you know, they can respectively win the NFC West, but they had dropped a couple of games. And, you know, Kylermurray, he's been playing well, but, you know, they haven't been able to put it together consistently, right? So I kind of felt like with the game that Samdarnold had, and with Justin Jefferson basically, you know, being a non-factor on paper, because we already know that Justin Jefferson last game against the Chicago Bears, you know, he did a whole lot. It just wasn't stat-wise, right? I kind of felt like the game plan offensively coming into this game would be, hey, let's get Justin Jefferson going early so he can touch the ball, and then we can try to feed everybody else. And then if we have a lead, hey, hand the ball off to Aaron Jones and Cam Akers and keep going from there. I don't think it worked today. Like, the offense, in my opinion, didn't really start clicking until maybe like third, fourth quarter when the game was basically on the line. So it kind of is what it is with that. Well, let's keep it rolling, though. So the defensive scheme, you know, if you guys have been following my channel, you guys know that I have a couple of critiques about the defense, right? And considering the last game with Caleb Williams and how he was able to scramble out the pocket and, you know, make plays down the field on the unscripted plays, I was kind of worried because that's Kyler Murray's bag, right? And I kind of feel like Kyler Murray, he's able to escape the pocket, extend plays, get first downs that way. I was worried about that, going into this game. And, I'm still worried about the middle of the field, the older corners, stuff like that. And that kind of stuff did kind of rear its ugly head today. But it wasn't as bad because, hey, Minnesota Vikings figured it out and then won the game. But that is something that we need to really look at going forward, and something I feel Brian Flores has to tighten up, with that, because that defensive scheme, I feel like it's working to a certain extent, because I felt like we couldn't get home as much as we thought we could. But let's keep it moving, because these other topics we're probably going to go into more depth about, and we're probably going to overlap on the offense and the defense later in this video. But, forgive me if you feel like I'm rambling or I'm going too fast. But let's talk about coaching decisions and adjustments. Now, to piggyback what I said about the defense, right? I kind of felt that Kyler Murray was able to extend plays this game, and the middle of the field was kind of wide open. And the Minnesota Vikings had a couple of injuries in the secondary. And, they were able to motion guys out and get one-on-one coverage against our, older cornerbacks. And that started to be a problem. I really thought that was going to be our determining factor of this game, of how the Vikings were going to lose this game, because I kind of felt like, especially at the end of the game, pretty much the second to last drive with the Cardinals, they had a three, it was the Vikings were trying to get 3 and out, right? And then it was 3rd and 12, and Cardinals got it. Then it was another 3rd down, and Cardinals got it. And they basically drove down the field to kick another field goal. And I was just damn, the defense has not really made too many adjustments to try to counteract for Kyler Murray. But, at the end of the game with the defense, I really feel like Flores kind of figured some things out. I guess he had some tricks he had in his bag that he really didn't want to, play all day, because, the opposing team probably would have countered it. But the last drive, with the Cardinals, whatever, hey, finally got some pressure. Rick Grenard, it looked great. And that's the thing about Kyler Murray. I'm not trying to down Kyler and say he's a bad player or something like that, because I think he's in spurts, he can be great. But it's proven that if you can knock Kyler off of his, off his stance, or just rattle him, or continue to be in his face, he gets rattled and he makes boneheaded plays, like the interception he threw and then the intentional grounding. That really worked in our favor. But that's the defense. Now, the coaching decisions and adjustments for the offense, I feel like one of the big issues that Kevin O'Connell, has is the longer developing plays down the field. Now, I understand what that means. Well, you have to have your offensive lineman block a little bit longer so you can have those long plays down the field. So I kind of accept what happens with that. You might get a couple of sacks here and there. You might get a pressure here and there. I'm not going to sit on this channel and be like, oh my God, you got to change it. But it seems like when Kevin O'Connell felt like, okay, these plays are taking too long, he adjusted. And I would say mid-third quarter, fourth quarter, to where you saw some of the shorter plays, go into play, and it opened up the offense. It kind of felt like when he started changing things up, the defense was kind of off balance, and the Vikings felt like they just got injected with new life, and they went straight down the field, to get two touchdowns back to back to basically win this game. I mean, the boy Sammy D was dealing. We're going to get into the top performances too, but that's just something that I noticed Kevin O'Connell did. I have to give him praise for that, because it's man, you saw something wasn't working all game. And when you figured it out, you went back to it and you won a game with it. Now, special teams, we always have a conversation about special teams. But what do I always say? You don't talk about special teams unless they did something bad. John Parker Romo missed a kick today. It wasn't a big deal. Kickoff return, punt returns, nothing was out of the ordinary today. Just one missed field goal. We could have lost the game before because of it, but it didn't really, damage us too much. But injuries, though. Injuries. All right. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Gilmore has a hamstring injury. Stephon Gilmore, starting corner, has a hamstring injury and he missed majority of the game. This is something that is kind of like, damn, because it's like, I know that Caleb Evans wasn't playing and he was kind of like down on the depth chart, but it's kind of like, damn, are we kicking ourselves a little bit right now for cutting the Caleb Evans, letting him walk? And now that, Gilmore, it might mix a couple of weeks because of a hamstring injury. Like, man, and then Harrison Smith went out for a couple of series. It's like, man, this is what happens in football. You get down to the nitty gritty. You get down to the, to week 11, week 13s, and injuries start happening. It's a contact sport. It's a physical sport, but we're gonna have to circle that injury and see how the Minnesota Vikings can mask the injury of Stephon Gilmore. Yeah. So this is what you guys like to hear. Let's talk about the top performers. All right, let me bring it up on my other screen so I'll make sure that my stats are accurate this time. Last game, I think I botched it last week. All right, so let's talk about the offense first. Man, first off with the offense, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to just be honest with y'all. Just like I said earlier, the offense struggled majority of this game. They only had like 79 yards going into the third quarter. That was terrible. But they figured it out. Kevin O'Connell made adjustments, and he figured it out. So the top performers on offense today, I got to give it to my boy, Sammy D. 21 for 31, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, right? That's just the passing. But I got to bring up the rushing. 4 carries for 22 yards, and the longest one was for 12 yards. I feel like this. I am way more comfortable with Sam Darnold escaping the pocket, getting 5, 6, maybe 7 rushing yards just to extend the play, maybe get a first down here and there, versus then forcing that ball down the field, getting an interception, and just kills the morale of the team. But I think Sam is getting more and more comfortable game by game by saying, if it's not there, tuck it, get to the sideline, 5, keep on pushing. Now, Justin Jefferson, man, 77 receptions, 99 yards, no touchdowns. Man, excuse me. He missed a 100-yard game by 99 yards. But the brighter side of the situation right now, on the season for Justin Jefferson, he already has 1,000 yards already on the season. So the boy's balling. He's going to add to that in the next couple of games. I really feel happy that he was involved more stat-wise, with the game plan, because, hey, he made some crucial plays down the line, especially on third down, to have the Minnesota Vikings draw down the field and get this win. Now, Jordan Addison, 4 receptions, 54 yards, right? And, I mean, that's all I can say about the pass catches. Everybody relatively, it was kind of even. TJ Hawkinson had 3 receptions for 28 yards. Johnny Munt, 2 receptions, 22, and a touchdown. But you know how that go. It is what it is. And you guys can probably know I'm not talking about the running backs right now because disappointed in the running backs right now, especially Aaron Jones. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. But let's talk about the defense, though. Let's talk about the defense. Blake Cashman. It feels like Blake Cashman, he has like a magnet for the ball. The boy had 11 tackles, 9 solo today, right? Like, that's balling. And, I got to give it to my boy, Jonathan Grenard. Jonathan Grenard, at the end of the game, coming in for them sacks, the boy can play, man. I was kind of worried about him when he was on the sideline, huffing and puffing like that. Kevin O'Connell did the right thing, called a timeout, give your boy a breather, get us some water, let him get back in there. But yeah, he played well. I mean, the only interception we had, came from Shaq Griffin. But hey, is what it is. Everything counted today. We needed everybody to do their job because everything con today. For real. All right. So we normally do like overreactions. There's nothing like I can say too much that I'm overreacting about, but I can say this though. Offensive line, right? Let's not overreact about the offensive line just yet. I feel like the interior of the offensive line had a bad day today. We haven't seen the PFF numbers. They'll probably come out Monday after this video is released. But I kind of feel like Reisner had an up and down game. Bradbury had an up and down game. And Blake Brandell had an up and down game. I kind of feel like that's what majority of the pressure was coming from. I'm not going to overreact on that just now, but it seems like they were in bad communication and it was a lot of like missed, assignments where guys were just coming through the line like just free. So it's not going to be an overreaction. I'm gonna just pin that today and let's just see if Kevin O'Connell and the coaching staff can figure something out and be like, all right, cool. Maybe we got to tweak some things or whatever. We not finna get into the Ed Ingram conversation because he was a healthy scratch today. I think that ship may have sailed already. I'm not going to die on that hill, but we might have to revisit it a little bit later. But this is Dalton Reisner's third game. And in my opinion, it was an up and down game. But all three interior linemen, I would say, kind of played subpar today. But I really want to see the numbers and I really want to see, the breakdowns of what actually happened. Areas of concern. All right. So my areas of concern, as you guys notice, I did not put the running backs on top performers. And you guys know I love me some running backs. I am starting to get truly concerned about Aaron Jones. Excuse me. 2 drives with 2 fumbles. One was lost and the other one was recovered. But man, I don't like what I'm seeing from Aaron Jones right now. The ball security is not there. I don't know if teams are like just saying like, hey, we know he's not been able to hold on to the ball and, recent weeks, let's just try to target that. But it's not looking good. I do like the fact that Kevin O'Connell did go to Cam Akers a lot more this game. And I mean, Cam Akers didn't have a great game himself. It's not like Cam Akers came in and he just, was all world. They basically finished with the same stat line, right? Like Cam Akers had four carries for 22 yards. Aaron Jones had 5 carries for 22 yards. And I would say Aaron Jones did have, the late touchdown at the end of the game, basically a redemption, when he caught the touchdown pass, to end the game up. But at the same time, it's like, if we really want to make some noise in the playoffs and we really want to be considered one of the top echelon teams, we have to play more complimentary football. And some people think complimentary football is like the defense has to help out the offense has to help out the defense. Because the team have to play. It's also we need the running game to do its job to where if we do have a lead, we can lean on the running game where, the running game cannot go back to being non-existent as it was last year. Aaron Jones needs to get his head out of his ass and figure some things out because it's starting to be a growing area of concern, especially for me. All right. My last video, the post game with the Chicago Bears, I was basically happy that Aaron Jones had, over 100 yards rushing. He was looking good. And I still wanted to kind of see more of a balance between the running backs because I want to keep Aaron Jones fresh for when we get to the end of this season until we get to the playoffs. I want to do that. But as of now, like the fumbling is really starting to be a problem. It is starting to kill drive, especially in the red zone, right? If we are going to get on this soapbox and be on social media on different channels and we're going to complain about Sam Darnold, and it's warranted. I'm not saying y'all wrong about that, but we got to start having a conversation about Aaron Jones too. And that's my biggest area of concern is the running back situation. We need to get that together. So let's talk about looking forward. All right. Well. Y'all already know what the next game is at US Bank Stadium. December 8th. Maybe it might get flexed. We never know. It might be too late. But the Atlanta Falcons will be coming into US Bank Stadium. Kirk Cousins is coming back. Me personally, I'm going to tell y'all straight up. It's just another game for me. Vikings going there, get the win. Other people going to be more hyped about this game because Kirk's coming back. And I guess Kirk had a horrible game, today. And, it's all over social media about Kirk sucks. I'm not going there. Hey, this might be the trap game because too many people, the storylines might be too surrounded about Kirk Cousins coming back. I really don't care. Win. Stack them wins. I don't care Kirk Cousins coming back. Thank you, Kirk, for the 6 years. It wasn't a true success to what we thought it was. We thought you were the missing piece. It didn't work out that way. Things happen. Hey, I appreciate you, Kirk. We had some good times. We had some bad times. But hey, we got to get this win because we are jockeying for a position in the playoffs, right? And when I'm saying that we're jockeying for a position in the playoffs, I'm going to just bring up the standings so I can just be completely accurate of where the standings look like right now. All right? Peep it. You have the Detroit Lions 11-1. Now, I've been telling y'all over and over and over again, the Minnesota Vikings have to continue to stack wins to make sure that week 18 means something. You feel me? Now, you got Philadelphia. Philadelphia is rolling. Philadelphia is looking real good. In my opinion, Philadelphia has the MVP on their team. Saquon Barkley is the MVP right now. I really want him to win it. The last time a running back has won that award, our guy, Adrian Peterson, and I'm really seeing the way Saquon has solidified that offense. Man, hats off to you, Saquon. Man, keep doing your thing. But they're 10-2, all right? So then we got Seattle, right? As of right now, they're 7-5, division winner, in the NFC West. Because basically, I feel like the Niners are done. Niners are 5-7. I think Christian McCaffrey has a soft tissue injury, non-contact injury right now. Kind of killed my fantasy team, but it is what it is. They might be done. And the Falcons right now are 6-6, ahead of their division in the NFC South, right? So the Vikings have the first wild card at 10-2. Then you got Green Bay at 9-3, and then you got the Washington Commanders at 8-5. And why I'm bringing up the records is because you can't afford to get sidetracked about Kirk Cousins coming back to US Bank. You got to take care of business because I just feel like that, man. Like these other teams are stacking their wins and solidifying where they're going to be in the playoffs. And we have to stay focused and not get sidetracked about Kirk Cousins coming into US Bank. Hey, it is what it is. But, I'm going to end this video right here. And I just want to say thank you to everybody out there who's been supporting my channel. With me, it's quality over quantity. That's how I get down. If you haven't already, and if you're new to the channel and, you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please like the video. Hit the notification bell so that way, every time I go live, every time I, post a short or a video, you will always be informed. But for everybody that's been rocking with me, that's been in the comments, I really appreciate you. I didn't do a pre-game, overview this week because, hey, it was my birthday weekend and, it was a holiday. But to everybody out there, I appreciate you guys. You guys can always find me on all social media platforms, Skol State of Mind on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be putting things on TikTok because I relatively don't use it. I might be even exploring getting a Blue Sky account or a Threads account, in the future. But I can't say this more and more. I appreciate y'all. Please like, subscribe. Thank you. I'm gonna end this video like I always do. Skol, baby.